Pizzaverse Studios presents a Palermo Productions original, written by Bambi Palermo. The day you were supposed to start. You wake up one morning fully convinced that today is the day. You open your laptop, you stare at it, and then you get a sudden urge to just close it. You tell yourself you'll start after lunch. After lunch becomes after dinner. After dinner becomes tomorrow, and tomorrow looks exactly the same. And the worst part, you're not lazy. You know you're not. Lazy people don't lie awake at night replaying everything they haven't done yet. Lazy people don't feel this specific kind of guilt. You actually care deeply. You think about your goals constantly. The vision is vivid, and the desire is as real as it gets. So why can't you move? You're not lazy, you're overloaded. Well, there are precise psychological reasons why you're stuck. And by the end of this, you will see the exact loop you've been trapped in, and why everything you've tried so far was never going to break it. The first thing you need to understand is this: you are not lazy. You are simply overwhelmed by the size of your own vision. This is one of the most misunderstood dynamics, and it is also the most counterintuitive. Because the assumption is always that people who don't act simply don't care enough. But for you, it's the complete opposite. The problem isn't that you don't care, but that you care too much. The weight of the vision. Here's how this plays out in your brain. When you decide that a goal matters, like really matters, your mind doesn't just file it under things to do. It elevates it. It makes it significant. It turns it into the thing that could change everything. And that elevation, that sense of enormous importance, is exactly what makes it so hard to begin. Psychologists consider this a form of cognitive overwhelm. When a goal feels massive and undefined, the brain essentially freezes. Not out of weakness, but out of self-preservation. Your mind looks at the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and it panics. The marathon effect. Think about it this way. Asking someone who's never run before to start jogging around the block, that's easy. But telling them they have to run a marathon? Suddenly they can't even find their shoes. The goal didn't get harder, but the weight of it did. So you sit with 14 brilliant ideas and 0 executed ones, not because you lack the ability, but because every single idea carries this enormous pressure to be the one that works. The one that proves something. The fear you don't talk about. But here's where it gets deeper. The real fear isn't judgment, it's not people laughing at you. The real fear is this. What if you try for real and it still doesn't work? Because then the story dies. The story that says you could do it. That you have potential. And as long as you haven't fully tried, that story stays alive. The loop. Now here's the truth most people miss. Your ambition and your inaction aren't opposites, they're feeding each other. You feel inspired. You sit down. You feel the gap. You shut down. You promise tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and the cycle repeats. That's the loop. Toxic ambition. For truly ambitious people, there's another layer. That constant feeling that you're behind. That everyone else is doing more. That no matter what you do, it's not enough. So you don't start. Because starting means facing that truth head on. The protection program. Not acting isn't a lack of willpower. It's your brain protecting you. It sees potential failure the same way it sees danger, so it stalls, It delays, it avoids. Psychologists call this self-handicapping. You didn't fail. Because you never fully tried, and that protects your identity. The quiet rebrand. Some people don't fix this, they adapt to it. They stop calling themselves ambitious. They say, I'm just being realistic. But underneath, it's grief. They didn't lose the dream, they buried it. What actually changes? The missing piece isn't motivation, it's not discipline, it's proof. Proof from yourself that you can start and finish something, not something big, something small. The first piece of evidence. A single paragraph, a single email, a single 10-minute session. That's it. Because what your brain needs isn't hype, it needs evidence, and once you have it, you start to believe. The turning point. Nobody breaks out of this with a massive transformation. It's one quiet day where they did the small thing, and then they did it again. And somewhere in that repetition, they stopped doubting themselves because they had proof. You were never the problem. The ambition was never the problem. The vision was never the problem. You were never the problem. You just didn't understand what was happening underneath it. Now you do. So here's the question. What's the one small thing you can finish today? Start there. If you see the pattern, you're already ahead of most people. Subscribe, because we're breaking this down piece by piece until what's holding you back doesn't stand a chance anymore. From Pizzaverse Studios, a Palermo Productions original written by Bambi Palermo. We appreciate you. Stay sharp.